The shape and size of a topper cap can make a huge difference in the way it fits your head. And the material in the cap and the way the hair is sewn on can make a huge difference in the style and the way the hair moves. This gifted topper that I'm reviewing today is another unique cap design from Uniwigs. I think it'll fit a lot of different people if you're looking for a larger cap size and a realistic scalp, but without it being too heavy. This is a great option. Hi, I'm Lacie from No Filter Beauty, and I'm an alternative hair consultant. I help women suffering from hair loss to find the right wig or topper for them online. This channel is to help inform you about hair pieces through honest reviews, helpful tips, and educational content. So if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll consider subscribing. The most important part about a topper for me is the cap construction and the size. So let's go over that real quick. This cap measures 8 inches across, 8 inches front to back. It has this parting area that is 4 by 4 inches. It's what I would call double silk. So you get a really realistic part line, but it's actually really thin compared to a lot of other silk tops, which are single injected silk. This one's a little bit different. It's a little lighter, you get more volume, it has return hairs, which we'll go over later. You can part anywhere within that 4 by 4 inch area. The rest of this topper is stretchy slightly, but it's closed wefting, so it's gonna hug your head really tight and give you a really good fit. The shape of this cap is also pretty unique. You can see right here at the hairline, it kind of protrudes forward, which honestly I think is really great for anybody with kind of a more narrow face, or if you just don't want the sides of your forehead to be eaten up, because usually that's the case, is this is a little bit straighter, and so these sit a little bit more forward. With this, you can sit this right at your hairline like this, but then the side clips are gonna be further back, so you're not having to clip in right at your temple area, which for most of us is a really thin and fragile area. So if you've tried a larger cap silk top in the past and you just felt like it overwhelmed you and the hair was falling too far forward and it was eating up too much of your face, this might be an awesome option because of this unique shape. This piece has 6 clips. It has the one in the front, and if you know me, you know I hate clips in the front. Some people are gonna be fine because this cap is not very heavy. It's actually really lightweight for the size and for it being a silk, but I still probably would replace this with a comb. For me, if you have a little bit more hair than me, you may be just fine with the clip. I like to replace these front clips with combs a lot of the time because I just don't have a lot of hair to grip onto. So with a comb, I can still get it in there, and with a little bit of teasing powder, I can get it to stay really well without it having to actually grip onto my hair, because this hair is really fragile and this clip seems to take the brunt of the weight and the pressure. Let's talk about the hair. So like all of my Uniwigs pieces, I would call this medium quality hair. It's not gonna be top tier, that super healthy, luxurious, non-processed hair, but it's also not garbage. It's definitely decent for the price. It's going to tangle a little bit more than something that's a little bit higher priced, but honestly, for this kind of price range, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful option. It air dries almost completely straight, which makes styling pretty easy. You can obviously add curls. It holds a curl really well. This piece has return hairs, so let's talk about what those are so that you're not shocked when you see some shorter pieces through here. A lot of people think that this is breakage. It's not. Return hairs are what you get with a double silk construction. You get it with lace, you get it with mono. What it is when the worker is tying the hair onto the cap, they pull through the long end of the knot and they also pull through the short end of the knot. So you get the long piece and the short piece, and they vary those lengths so that you get this variation of length throughout the hair, which really mimics the way our hair grows. Most of us don't have all of our hair exactly one length. We have regrowth, we have a little bit of breakage, that's all natural. So the return hairs give you a really realistic texture, in my opinion. Some people hate them because they want that really luxurious, sleek look that you can get from a single injected silk, but double injected is gonna give you those return hairs. If you like a fluffier texture, more volume, a more kind of realistic texture, if your hair is like mine, a double silk is a great option because of those return hairs. It also keeps the cap really lightweight, so that's another plus. The color on this piece was custom colored by my friend Lauren. So I'm gonna tell you, it started out as a medium brown. Uniwigs, their number is G4, medium brown. And then she added a dark root and some dark lowlights. It's kind of this reverse balayage and then toned it. So it looks like she bleached highlights into this, but she didn't. I'm gonna link her Instagram below if you have questions, specific questions about her formula. She also does mail-in orders if you'd like a custom color, or you can reach out to Uniwigs and ask them what they suggest. It's a really beautiful dimensional color. I think getting a dimensional color for most of us is key because a lot of us have dimension in our hair naturally, and it's a lot easier to match your bio hair if your topper has more than one color in it. When trying to color match a topper, you always want to start at the lightest color that you want in your piece. And then you can always darken it, add color to it, but you don't want to be bleaching it, especially a piece that's already been processed or colored. This piece is listed at 14 inches, which Uniwigs measures their toppers a little bit different than I do. So if you go from the middle part to the ends, this is gonna measure closer to 17 or 18 inches, just because it's a larger cap and we're measuring where the length is gonna fall on you instead of just the length of the strands. My stylist cut this piece for me, so I have some kind of curtain bangs, some face framing layers, a little bit of layering throughout, but not a ton. She didn't thin it a lot because it's not a ton of hair to start with. It's, especially for this size of a cap, I feel like it's a really average amount of hair, and I always suggest, always, that you get your topper custom cut. It's not like a wig, it's gotta blend in with your bio hair. Getting it custom cut is gonna make a huge difference in the style, the way it lays. Like this came just totally straight and all one length. It's not a cute look for most of us, especially with the topper. It really needs to have some shape, to have some movement and blend in with your bio hair. Let's go over a couple of cons or things to just be aware of when ordering this piece. One of them is the fluffy texture. So if you've ever tried a single injected silk from a lot of other companies online, this is a different texture. It's a lot fluffier. It's got, like I mentioned, those return hairs. So you've got a lot of variation in length. You'll see there are even some shorter ones like up here at the top. That's a different texture. The hair's not gonna sit as flat on top. You're gonna have some natural volume there. If you prefer a more sleek and flat hair look on top, you may wanna look into a single silk instead of a double silk like this one. That clip in the front, it's not a big deal to me. I sometimes will use it, sometimes I don't. I just leave it closed. I probably will end up sewing a comb into it though. It's really no big deal if you are like me and you don't like clips in the front. For as thin as this double silk area, hand-tied area is, the rim of this is a little bit stiff. So it doesn't sit quite as flat. It doesn't quite mold to my forehead like some other pieces that are a little bit more flexible. It's not really sitting up too high, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a little bit thicker or stiffer, I guess, than some of the other pieces. And any kind of silk is not gonna sit as flat as like a monotop because there's several layers of fabric. That's the only way to hide those knots and give you that super realistic scalp. So there's always a trade-off. Personally, I think the best way to blend any kind of a silk top is going to be really close to your hairline. If you try to put it behind, you're gonna definitely be needing some fibers if you have a thinner part like mine. But personally, I just think it looks best right at your hairline. This one's a little bit easier to wear right at your hairline than something with a straighter shape along the front, but just be aware of that. You're probably gonna wanna wear it pretty far forward. For a Uniwigs piece, this one is actually a little bit pricier. So I think what you're paying for is that versatile parting area. It's a much larger hand-tied area than some of the others I've reviewed in the past. You're also paying for a larger cap, which always includes more hair, so that's also adding to the cost. And the double silk, that is a very labor-intensive process to hand sew all those hairs on and get that realistic scalp look. I love this piece as a larger cap option, especially if you've tried a single injected silk in the past and it was too hot or too heavy. This is a much different kind of construction. It's a lot lighter weight, it's cooler. I feel like it's more comfortable and probably will be for most people. Again, if you have more of a narrow face or a smaller head, I think the shape of this is probably gonna fit your head a little bit better and keep it from eating up the sides of your face. Remember, you're getting that realistic scalp. If you have more severe hair loss, the larger cap, so you're clipping in lower, giving you a little bit more coverage. It's a fantastic piece. And like I said, really comfortable, easy to style. This piece is linked below in the description box with a discount code. If you're interested in something at a little bit lower price point or with a little less volume, check out either of these videos, the Aura or the Courtney. Those pieces are a little lower price and can lay a little bit flatter than something like this. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video if it was helpful and subscribe for ongoing alternative hair help. Bye.